about the games last week. Just talk about your feelings overall, and then we can get into some questions.
Yeah, sure. Look, I was really proud of our guys, man. I was super angry after Saturday's loss, and the first thing I told them in the locker room was that none of that anger was directed at them. It was because they deserved to win, and we didn't. You know what I mean? Like they played well enough to win, which is basketball, right? But like, if my anger is that we weren't doing that for the couple weeks prior, and so um, sometimes you do that and you come up 2 points short. You know what I mean? And but if you do that every single night, then you win way more than you lose. And so I was really pleased with their effort. I mean, everything that I asked them to do last week, they did. And we were playing a really good team, two really good teams. We were in the game at Utah Valley, 2 point game at half. Wheels kind of came off a little bit in the second half. Not due to anything. A lot of that was due to Utah Valley. But man, we just couldn't make a free throw. It was crazy. We've kind of been in this funk that I hope we've come out of now because we shot free throws really well in the second half at CBU. And then we go to CBU, who's winning the league right now, and in a 2 point game on the road, having a chance to win at the buzzer was really pleasing to me. Because it tells you a lot about these kids, man. I think I know it's coach speak or it's an old saying, man. But like character is revealed when things aren't going your way. It's everybody has great character when things are going their way, right? And when things aren't going your way, I think that shows the true character of a man and of a group. And I think we showed that Saturday. And I know we didn't come out on the winning side, but man, it gives me a lot of hope. And I'm just grateful for how much support we've been getting. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful thing about the Abilene Christian community. There's a couple haters out there, but for the most part, man, like the support, because they know what kind of kids we have in this locker room. They know what challenges we're facing. In the big picture, and so I'm just grateful for the supporters too. And look, the way that these guys played this weekend, I'm really excited to move forward this week.
And I might have given the answer there, but what kind of message are you sending to your team after the tough stretch you guys have been on, especially after a 2 point loss like
Yeah.
you guys had at Caltech?
Yeah, it's exactly that. I think it's just that, like, keep fighting, right? And that's kind of the mantra right now is fight. We're not gonna put our heads down. We're not gonna pout. If you pout, then you're done. And we had a player kind of pout about something early in the first half the other night, and he didn't play the rest of the game. And I think we just don't have room for that or time for that. And so that's the thing is just keep fighting, man. And let's be men of character, and practice what we preach. We're men of faith, and it's yes, we want to win every single time we step on the floor, and that's why we're playing the game. But ultimately, man, it's about fighting and coming together and growing as a group, and I think that we're doing that, man. The way these guys played, anybody who watched that game Saturday knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I mean, you don't see teams that are on a losing stretch play the way we played on Saturday. And so, man, I told them, I said, man, I'm proud of every single one of them, and I'm grateful to be their coach, and I'm ready to go fight with them this week.
And playing the top team in your conference, losing by two, does that give you guys kind of a confidence of okay, it's not a skills thing. We can play with the best team in our conference. We can play with
Yeah.
the best. Does that kind of give you guys a confidence despite not necessarily getting a win?
Yeah, I mean, we've proven we can play with the best in this league. We can beat anybody. We have. I mean, we beat Utah Valley here. We go on the road and win at Tarleton when they were at full strength. They're really good when they're at full strength. We had some great non-conference wins as well. We just kind of got smacked in the face by life a little bit, and we did not respond real well initially. And I think that but now we've kind of, I think even including last week, we've kind of come back and we've looked a little bit more like ourselves. And I think that hopefully Saturday, I don't really believe in moral victories, but I don't think that's what that was. It was just a show of our true character. And if we can play like that and compete like that, we're going to be just fine.
And now you're coming back home. How good is it to be home after, let's just call it an interesting road trip? I know
Yeah.
Utah Valley, there's some stuff that
Yeah.
is out of your control again.
Yeah.
Just talk about how good it is to be back home after that.
Yeah, you love being at home. You love to sleep in your own bed. We tend to play pretty good on the road usually, so sometimes I'm like, man, the road trips aren't bad. But we've got to kind of figure this thing out at home here lately. But man, Thursday's going to be a fun game. It's nationally televised. I'm sure the crowd will be great. We don't have to do anything to promote that. People will show up just to see themselves on TV. I'm excited for it. I mean, we just can't get caught up in those distractions because ultimately we have one focus, and that's to try to win a game. And, we've got to kind of block out all the noise of being on national television and moms and dads and aunts and uncles, being excited and all that stuff. It's just, man, we got to try to win a basketball game. And we got a really good, hungry basketball team in UTA coming in here. And then we turn around Saturday and play a Tarleton team that just is coming off of a big win, big road win. They'll be healthier when they get here. They haven't been healthy, which is just that's the way it goes right now. They'll be at full strength, but man, look, we're excited. We get to play basketball. It's a blessing to be able to do what we do. That never changes, man. We're not letting losing some games change how we feel about how fortunate we are to get to do this, and I certainly don't, and so we're just excited to get out here and compete and do it in front of our home fans.
And then playing two Texas teams, that adds some juice that, hey, they're right down the road. You had nationally televised game as well, and then you have Tarleton, which need no explanation. Does that give you guys a little bit more energy when it comes to, hey, we've had a tough stretch, but hey, this will give us a little bit of a boost, or is that even necessary?
No, I don't think it shouldn't be necessary. I mean, we should be putting everything we have into winning a game right now, or doing at least what it takes to win a game, regardless of the opponents. There's always a little bit of extra juice when Tarleton comes to town, and UTA is right down the road. We've had fantastic games. I mean, even going back to before they were in the WAC, I mean, we won an overtime game there at their place. We went to overtime here last year. They won. We went to their place and won. KT's a good friend of mine and a really good basketball coach, and he's going to have them ready to go. And so, I think, there's some of that being Texas teams, and we're the ones that are moving on together, in the future. But ultimately, man, we just got to focus on the game itself, and what we have to do to try to make sure we take care of business at home.
Did you feel like any of the issues with UVU distracted your team in any way?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we don't care if it's streamed, not streamed. I mean, we're there to play a basketball game. I think sometimes it's, there's going to be a distraction of some sort every single time you go step on the floor, whether it's national TV, whether it's no TV, whether it's the stuff we went through a couple weeks before. We've got, and that's one of the things we've been talking about is not worry about it. I mean, most people don't even know we couldn't get to the gym when we were at Southern Utah because there was a power outage, and we showed up and, our warm-up time was cut in half, and so there's distractions every single game. We weren't handling the distractions real well, but that's one of the things we've been focusing on is making sure that we don't worry about the outside noise and other things going on, and just focus on us. And I think that's why we played better this week. I think the guys did that. That's why I'm confident we'll play good this week as well.
Yeah. And then late in the game against California Baptist, you put Tylen Lewis in. What was your goals with that? What did he bring to the team in that stretch?
Yeah, I'm really proud of Tylen because he hasn't played the last couple games. We were doing offense-defensive subs with about 12 minutes to go. Don't get me started on that. But I think I was really proud of a lot of guys that stepped up and played, and just every game. We talk about this as a group. It's somebody different every night that's going to have to step up for us. And Tylen can really guard the basketball, and we put him in there because we were in some foul trouble, and they've got one of the best players in the league at the guard spot. And I didn't want to guard him with one of those guys with 3 and 4 fouls. And Tylen went in there and did a great job and kept us in the game. And even a couple offensive possessions, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And so super proud of Tylen for that. That's what this is about, right, is guys getting opportunities and being ready when their name's called.
And then Zai Wright, had some bigger minute games, some smaller minute games. How'd you see him kind of help with his 12 points on Saturday?
Zai did exactly what I asked him to do. And I think he got away from that a little bit for a couple weeks. And when you struggle, when personally or as a group, guys start trying to do more than they should because, and it's not in a bad way. They're trying to help, right? We're trying to overcompensate. And I've been talking a lot with him about just sticking to what he was doing before, and that's hitting open shots, taking straight line drives, and being an elite rebounder for us, and making those toughness plays. I thought that's exactly what he did in both games this week, which is why he saw his minutes return.
Yeah. And then UTA, a tough loss to them, and therefore, how big is it to have them now here in what should be a really big crowd and a big scene?
Well, it'd be great because this is when this whole thing started, right? Maybe we can close that loop. But yeah, it's another game, man. It's another game, and we just got to take one game at a time. Try to put ourselves in the best position we can when we go to Vegas, and UTA is the next one.
And you mentioned it there. It's all about getting to Vegas with momentum and in a right spot. How much of that message have you given to your team that the record might not be great, but
Yeah.
get there?
Yeah, we're not worried. I mean, right now we're not talking about Vegas much. We're just talking about the next game. We've talked a little bit big picture because we kind of took ourselves out of the race, that we were in a couple weeks ago for the regular season title. But we want to put ourselves in the best position we can because we believe that we can go to Vegas and compete for a championship. But to do that, you want to put yourself in the best possible situation you can. So we've talked a little bit big picture, but not much because I think that takes away from the next game mentality, which we have to keep.
One last thing
Yeah.
off of that. You had this kind of experience before of not getting off to a hot start in conference play, but then you guys kind of flip a switch and
Yeah.
you just go on a run. How helpful was it to be able to have that experience and kind of know, hey, it's all right, we still got some time going?
Yeah.
How valuable is that, and being able to send that message?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said that. We've always been able to kind of get going late in the year, but every year is different, and so I'm really careful. I certainly don't feel that. I think that every year it's a different scenario, it's a different situation, and this year's been very different. We actually did get off to kind of a hot start initially, and some things out of our control kind of whacked us a little bit, and so this year's been totally different. We've had to kind of crawl out of that, and I think that we're starting to do that. I think it took us too long, but man, it's really, you don't want to be in this situation, and but I think my experience as a coach is that that's why we don't worry about what people think, good or bad, because it's such a long season, and guys that are playing great early don't play great late. Guys that aren't playing great early play great. Some people play great all the time. It just kind of depends on the year, but you just got to focus on what's in front of you. And I think that's one of the reasons we have had success in the past is because we've never changed that mentality. I'm not going to get too high or too low, and hopefully the players kind of follow that lead and don't and do the same. They just kind of stay stay neutral. Is the word we use, and we want to stay in neutral. And I think if we can do that, then it doesn't really matter. We just got to focus on the next game.